content of this channel is for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button. And please, feel free to share the video. Thank you.
What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, man. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely. Straight up with no chasers. You know, like I always do, man, I want to start off by giving a shout out to all my haters, man. What's good with y'all, man? I hope y'all having a pleasant afternoon, and I hope you have a pleasant evening. But what's good with y'all? The second thing I want to do is extend an invitation for you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button so you can stay abreast of what's going on here on the Green Gorilla channel on an ongoing basis. So make sure you do that when you come in. And, you know, I want to make sure that I give a shout out to all the members of the Green Gorilla channel. I know I ain't been here for a minute, so, but I want to give a shout out to all of the people who support the channel, man. Shout out to Karen S, True King 337, Javon Thompson, Anthony Davis, BGS Ivmore, Life of Commerce, Raphael Brown, Professor Carl Tone Jones, Rais Muajid, and Lionel Jean Louise. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Artisan MC, Damon Brown, Donnell 360, Herbert Lewis, Seven Coast Dojo, Rogish the Billmonger, Destro 1, Pulpit 28, Michael Ross, Charles Rogers, Papa Didas, and Travis King. Big up to y'all. Big up to Adam Williams, B. Hillfire, Rick Ross, Sandra Jean, Brotherly Love, Charles Gilmore, Patricia Colley, 7Q Pitt, Kwaku Asasi, Super Tech, and Gregory Oliver. Big up. Big up to Greg, Antonio Ferrier, Barry Little, Alan Wiley, Mr. Valentino, Jason Hales, Black Men Being Brutally Honest, 77 Base X, and Omni Americana. Big up to y'all. Big up to Cameron87, Deshaun Nolly, Brian Peaks, Nelso, Apex Prowler, Kareem, Doc LaRock, Jay Charles, Mark Holt, Lee Ways, and Jeffrey Speed. Big up. Big up to The Face, Mark Swift, Show Me, Black Dog, Odd Collar, Donna Watts, Cozy Corner, HipHop.catv, Coach DC, Kashif Caldwell, and I Am Black Man. Big up. Big up to Nichita, Mr. Blue Collar, Barnolas, Kyle J. Sura, I'm Just Jules, Brian McMurray, TD Hip Hop Media, Drew Main, Mr. Heat, Afro Shop, and Sir Anthony. Big up! Big up to ML Law, Universal 178, Black Swerve 404, Rashid Barnes, Aaron Smith, DH, C Truth the Revelator, Gold Professor, Arthur Unknown, Dr. Tiasan Johnson, Kalan Jakala, Ricky Dawson, Cedric Bowman, True 7360, BK Bourne Shaheed, James Washington, Hostile ADEP, W Pure 1, Marvin Battle Jr., and I can't forget my brother in heaven, Forrest Windu. Big up. And on the Patreon side, I want to give a shout out to Jules Winfield, Romello Scuggs, Darnell Smith, Excalibur, Jason Warren, Soul Pen, Anu219, Pursuer Prisoner, Taz, Kwaku217, Dragon 59, Supreme Ibmore, Adrian Hicks, Jay Bailey, Mr. Michi Momal, and Asangwa. Big up to all y'all, man. Y'all deserve a round of applause. Thank you so much for supporting the Green Gorilla channel. I appreciate that. Big up to y'all, man. Big up. Big up to y'all, man. I appreciate the help and the support. Straight up. And if you're wondering how you can become a member of the Green Gorilla channel and to help support the content here, man, here's how you do that.
What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. The place where black men can express themselves freely. Straight up, no chaser.
Today I want to introduce you to my new membership program that consists of 5 levels where you can invest in the Green Gorilla channel on a monthly basis and receive level-specific perks. Memberships are special because they improve the quality of the content of the channel and will help me to be able to keep the channel going. Now, to participate in the Green Gorilla channel membership program, all you have to do is hit the join button, which is located right next to the subscribe button on my channel page. Now, for all of my subscribers who decide not to participate in my membership program, nothing will change. The content will keep coming the way it always has. Thanks for watching, and be careful out here, people. Bless. All right, man, we back. You know who I am, man. I'm GG. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up with no chases, man. And I just want to draw something to your attention, man. I know you already done investigated this matter, man, but I just want to show you myself, about this athlete, man. His name is JP Washington, man, and he now has a baby mama, and they're not together anymore. This is run of the mill, right? I don't know if the guy was married. I assume that, he was not, but I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is there's a lot of rumors swirling around. So, I got to guess, man, he wanted to talk about this issue. So we're going to talk about this issue, man. And, I want you to welcome my man Marcus Aurelius to the stream, man. I'm going to cut off the music.
Yeah.
Right there at the drop of a dime. What's up, Marcus, man? How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's going on? We out here. What's poppin'? What's going on, man? What's happening?
You on the East Coast or you on the West Coast?
West Side.
You on the West Side?
West
Side.
Okay.
Okay, I feel you, man. Give me a fat burger, man. You know what I'm saying? Fat burger when I'm way out west. What's up? Thank you, brotherly love, for the donation, man. Thank you for checking in, man, and dropping a dime. He dropped a dime for real, man. Appreciate that.
I see him. That's my man D, man. What's going on, brotherly love?
Brotherly love, man. I appreciate that. Sandra Jean, of course, you're gonna get shouted out. You know what I'm saying? We big up people over here who support the channel. So you're gonna get another big up. We give big ups over here. You know what I'm saying? So every time, you tune into the Green Gorilla channel, if you are a member and you support the channel, we're going to give you your just due. We're going to give you flowers. You understand? So, but at any rate, you brought this issue to my attention. I, for the most part, I don't really keep up with a lot of, social intrigue. But if you could, give the people a recap on this, the circumstances surrounding this debacle or whatever you want to call it, this issue that they're having, and some preliminary thoughts about how you feel about it. And but before that, I want to show you something. But before that, I want to show you this. Okay, so let me show the people this shit right quick, just so they know. So they have some sort of idea of who this brother JP Washington was dealing with. Her name is Brittany Renner?
PJ Washington.
Oh, PJ Washington. Okay. Here's the woman, man. Here's some of her thoughts, just so you know. Check her out.
I want to know my body count. I don't know why in 2018 that's any of your fucking business or why it matters. But 24. 11 athletes. Woo! 5 entertainers. Woo! 8 regular guys. Woo! I've only fucked 3 regular guys since I've been Instagram famous because a lot of y'all run your fucking mouths too much. I don't want to be sending you a video 1 minute, the next minute I see me spread eagle on the timeline playing with my pussy. In my experience, the worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, you could just fuck an athlete. They're really dumb. I don't like talking about my history with men I'm dating, I guess until now, because most of the guys that I've dealt with are gonna have more money than you. and you're gonna feel a way about it. I know the male ego is fragile, like the ball sack that hangs in between your legs. In conclusion, like, I don't even look at people as like trashy or not. It all comes down to mentality for me.
So there you have it, man. There you have it, bro.
Mm.
There you have it, man. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, man, that's some shit, man, that needs to get somebody burnt into flames, man.
I respect the honesty, but Fedaway boy says the whole audacity. But it's like, imagine how many women think like this and don't say it out loud, though.
Yeah, that's the issue right there, man. That's a hell of an issue right there. But he says the audacity, man. That's funny, man.
The audacity. You bitches got the audacity.
That's crazy, man. But yeah, she's being forthcoming. She's being upright. And BGS into his house, he say, I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Oh yeah.
But she ain't messing with no broke. She ain't messing with no broke niggas. Yeah, but look, she's being forthcoming. But that still doesn't make it right to treat people as, tools and utilities and, walking ATM machines, to fulfill your own narcissistic, objectives. That's some bull crap, but that's what she's on. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you think about it, man? And there's rumors, I don't know how true they are. I doubt that they are true, that she's been awarded $200K a month in child support. I just don't believe that, man. I don't believe that, okay? That's just my personal opinion, okay? But yet and still, regardless as to whether or not, she's receiving that amount of money, she's going to receive a healthy amount of cash, okay, for having a child with this brother. You know what I'm saying? And then, now they are not together. And so, basically she already gave you what the program was. She ran it down. Like, if you want to get over and siphon a guy's resources, mess with one of these athletes. And of course she's talking about a professional athlete. Okay. And, just have a baby with one of them. Yeah. What is the mind state of a group of people who perceive a come up as being pregnant by somebody else? And then, okay, that's just a come up. I don't really like the dude. I'm not looking to form a viable partnership with this person in order to raise the child. I'm just looking for a check. I'm looking for a bag. What the hell is that, man? Where does this come from, bro?
We're seeing, it's nothing new. We're seeing plenty of examples of this, and the praise that comes with it. And, the man is always either blamed for his, stupidity, his own victimhood, whatever the case may be. Mind you, they, I'm hearing that, this guy was warned about this girl, because I know at some point somebody in the chat is going to say, he was warned and people told him and he should have knew better, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Remind you, this kid, I think she started courting him at 17. She started courting.
Hold on, man. What?
Yeah, she started courting him at 17 when he was a college ball player.
Hold on, man. Wait a minute. That is grooming behavior, my friend.
It's grooming, but it's cool because she has a vagina.
Yeah. Look, I don't know how old she is, but it's one thing to, date somebody, you fall in love with somebody who's, the age difference isn't that drastic. Okay, it's not like she's 40, was dating a 17-year-old, turning him out. The girl was like, what, 24, 25 or something like that?
She has 7 years on him. She's 29 now.
Okay. So she has 7 years on him. Okay.
He's 22 now, and she's 29 now.
Yeah, she was looking at his money though. You know what I'm saying? The whole time she was banking on his viability as a professional athlete. But here's the thing. Well, you know, I'm not trying to blame the guy. I'm just asking questions. So I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. Okay?
Gotcha.
He's 17, she 23, 24, whatever the case may be. She's screwing guys in the meantime and in between time. He's probably having his fun as a youngster if he's a young basketball phenom. You know, whatever the case may be. He's probably having his joyous occasions for, you know, to have sex or whatever the case may be. But damn, you know, this woman, you know, has been out there. You know, and not to say that, you know, you can't happenstance encounter a woman who's also been out there. But, I mean, you know this chick through a post, you know, like the social media, the Instagram, you know, accounts. Mm-hmm. She's telling you, okay, this is my modus operandi. She done wrote a book. Mm-hmm. I mean, she done already gave you, you know, what she's about. She let it all hang out. Like, you know, this is the kind of, you know, stilo I operate under. You know, this is my modus operandi. This is how I move. So why would that guy, you know, think it wouldn't happen to him? Well, so I'm playing devil's advocate.
I got you. So understand that some of this stuff that we do know about her predates not only their relationship, but his adulthood. Right? So you got a lot of stuff that she's done, putting videos up and things like that, that would go back into his teenage years. So him being a teenager, he might not be paying attention to the stuff that she's putting out, that us older guys might be looking at, like the video you just put up, like, oh, wow, she's on it like that, right?
Yeah, she's on it.
And yeah, so understand, I mean, you know, think about the age group we're in and the stuff that we can reference that people 7 years younger than us won't even know what we talking about sometimes. So you understand what I'm saying? So you know,
I get it. I get it, man.
So,
you know,
so his information or his ability to know who she was and what she's about might be limited to the age group that he's in. Also, now, you know, you got people saying, well, his boys told him. How many of us got a homie that we done told, hey man, hey man, shorty over there, it's not a good idea, right? And homie ain't listen, right?
Yeah, it's hard to get a brother to listen, man. You know, that's the hardest thing in the world to do, man. You know,
it doesn't make him any less a victim. It's just like when girls say, well, I could walk out and wearing this at 5 a.m, and this and that, and he's still not supposed to do this or that to me. They're right. But at the end of the day, they're still a victim and that guy's still an offender, but then they still played a role. And I'm not saying that he didn't play a role in his downfall, but he's still a victim. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't think he fell down yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it would be a true fall if it was the case, because there are rumors out there. Like I can show you, you know, a website that'll for the most part say, you know, this guy is, you know, being made to, you know, by the courts pay $200,000 a month in child support.
Yeah,
that's a lie, man. Like that's too much, man. There's no way the dude is only gonna make, man, four mil over the next 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So to charge that amount of money for child support would be more than what he's going to earn.
Nah, we've seen that though. It's happened. We've seen people be charged for child support a good portion of their earnings. Look at what happened with Adele and her husband. She has to give him, you know, on the flip side of things, she has to give him most of her money. Right? It happens. It's a rarity, but it does happen. And I understand what you're saying, but you know, just the whole situation, like people are like, it's his fault. And I'm just saying that the tables would turn, and it was him doing it to her. He'd be a predator and everything else, and she'd be a victim, and this, that, and the third. I mean, come on.
Well, I do know, she did walk off with his shorty, and he's a little bit butthurt about that. You know what I'm saying? And it just happens all too often in this culture where, women feel like they are the center of the family. All they need is a sperm donor, but, potentially or, preferably a wealthy sperm donor so they can go about their business and live their life and control and rear and enculturate the child on their own the way they see fit without obstructions or intrusions from the man. And then continue to, live the single life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, it is what it is. Let me show the video one more time for those people just not coming in. We're having a conversation about a young lady. Her name is Brittany Renner. And here's what she thinks about you. Here's what she thinks about the guys out there.
I want to know my body count. I don't know why in 2018 that's any of your fucking business or why it matters. But 24. 11 athletes. Woo!
So she basically said off the T-top, the body count does not matter. It's 2018. Of course, you already know they doing slut walks now. And thought-a-thons. I'm just saying, it's like, okay, they got thought-a-thons, slut walks, and hoe phases. I'm not even making this shit up, man. They made it up. I didn't make it up, bro.
Can you imagine any male, negative associated male behavior as a movement with a march? Think on that. The fuckboy march. the slap a whole conference. Can you imagine? I'm just saying, as
they got the players ball, man. All the players came from far wide.
You can't have pimps and players without female participation in that. That's a different thing, I'm just saying, just our bad behavior. Anything that we do that's considered like my man said, the toxic masculinity march, anything that we just do that's inherently, associated with male behavior that's negative as a march or a movement.
The mansplaining movement. The checker hoe convention.
Bitch.
The side chick symposium.
Yeah.
I'm just being ignorant right now, but all I'm saying is, right, she already is off to the start like, okay, who cares how many men I screw? It's my business. And it is, to a certain extent. But it becomes another person's business when you're trying to form and develop a serious relationship. Because if you feel like, okay, I can just toss through men, man after man after man after man, with reckless abandon. First of all, what does that say about your womanhood? Because, there's so much today. There's too many people trying to, basically explain away the poor behavior of women by saying that men do it. Okay, so, men have sex with numerous women, so why can't women have sex with numerous men? That's the prevailing argument that's used. Go ahead.
Men peace standing up. I mean, shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't do everything we do and vice versa. I can't do everything women do.
Well, no man, I'm just saying, I'm telling the ladies out there, no man wants a woman who's easy to fuck. Period. No man wants that. Because especially if he wants to lock her down and make her his wife or his, lifetime support system, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to have to encounter dozens and dozens of men who are looking like, yeah, I hit that.
I would venture to say that men don't want a woman who's easy for other men to fuck.
Well, of course. Like, I mean, you know, come on,
man. Men like
I,
easy to fuck women because they trying to fuck them. But you know, yeah, if you in BGS, he says it not to keep anyway, and he's correct. So, you know,
well, I'm just going. Well, the only thing I'm going off of, like Nas has a lyric in one of his songs. I can't remember which song it is, but he says, "You a fool if your main chick easy to fuck."
Yeah.
Even you, because it's some indication on how she's going to treat other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if your girl, if you make your wife a jump off that you fucked in the first night, well, you know, that might not be the most, you know, wise decision. Because, I mean, a lot of guys walk around like they're special. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, she only did this for me. Bruh.
It's not impossible, but I get your
It's
point.
not impossible. All I'm saying is, it's highly unlikely. If you think that way, I'm going to look at you like, man, bruh. Really? I'm just being honest.
I got you. Metaphors ODOT says, nah, they got a she-p device to stand up and do that now. Yeah, I seen it.
Hold on, a she-p device?
Yeah, I seen it.
Man, look, women are trying to be men and do shit that men have done to such an extent, you know, that to me, they love manhood without the responsibilities associated with it or without the repercussions and the consequences that men endure by being put into the category of man or men. Okay? So I'm going to, you know, exhibit all of the behavior of men, denounce real men, but, you know, kind of imitate or ape the behavior. And here, that's just one, you know, that's one, piece, you know, that I really don't like. But, you know, let me continue on so the brothers can see this.
Entertainers. Woo! 8 regular guys. Woo! I've only fucked 3 regular guys since I've been Instagram famous because a lot of y'all run your fucking mouths too much. I don't want to be sending you a video 1 minute, the next minute I see me spreading along the timeline playing with my pussy. In my experience, the worst people to deal
with. And look, man, you know, she's a little too loud for me, you know, just a little dorky, to, you know, as far as I'm concerned. But it is what it is, man. She's a pretty chick, though. I mean, you know, you can't deny that she's a nice looking lady. You know what I'm saying? Her body's pretty much on point. You know, she ain't got a humongous behind or nothing like that, but it's workable. It's LP, little plump. You know, not a bad looking woman. You know what I'm saying? She ain't the hottest woman I've ever seen, but she's not a bad looking woman. You know what I'm saying?
By far. I give it that much. I mean, you know. Check this out. Jared Barnett, his comment. She calls you gay, yet she's dying to be a dude and wonders why you don't find her attractive in the process, getting lost in her own mental gymnastics. That was a very interesting comment to me. Yeah, and BGS says, if the cat fits, let her wear it. PJ was groomed. We can't let our male bias of we can't be victims, especially the women, dissuade us from calling it what it is. He was groomed and he was turned out. I agree.
Yeah, he was turned out, man. He got sprung, as BGS has said. And you're welcome to come, you know, chat with us, BGS, and offer your wisdom on this issue, man, if you would like. I know you don't, you know, oftentimes like to get, you know, on my show because you feel like we'll just start drifting and going in every direction. But, you know, for the most part, you know, the guy was sprung. I mean, but damn. You know, like I'm trying to see, he's a young guy though. You know what I'm saying? This guy's like, what, 23 years old? And so, you know, I would encourage, you know, young guys, man, don't have raw, naked sex with these women, man. Guard your grill, man. Protect your seed.
Oh, my bad. Hey, 24 tribes. Let me say this real quick. 24 tribes. That was 24 tribes comment. You know, if the cap fits, let her wear it. I think I ascribed that to BGS. It'd be 24 tribes just corrected me. Sorry about that, brother. He said
Yeah,
I'm
it's all
the one
to
that
the
said that,
good.
not BGS. What the hell? So I just wanted to make sure that's pointed out that he said that. My bad, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's annoying, man. She's you can tell that she's an annoying chick. She feels like she looks good, so she feels like she probably can, mistreat, the men that she is coupled with. That's what it just appears to be to me. She seems like she's high maintenance, not really chill. You know what I'm saying? Not like a down to earth chick who will be supportive and who will kind of, you know, hold you down. She seems like she will hold you down, but not in the positive way. Not hold you down like hold you down in hood terms, but hold you down like an anchor. You get what I'm saying?
I do. It would bother me less, right, if these types of chicks remained in their category. If these dudes, right, seeing who they are, I mean, I can't speak for PJ and what he knew or what he didn't know or how. I mean, she's young. I mean, pardon me, he was young, but even the older guys, man, if you just smash these chicks and kept it moving, let them just fester in their whoredom. Let them just exist in that space of getting passed around and nobody wipes them up. If dudes, because I blame a lot of the guys for letting these women think that they can do these things and get away with it because we're allowing them to, we're enabling it. If these girls could just be trapped in the whore space that they belong in, it wouldn't be so bad. Don't marry these chicks, don't impregnate them, don't keep them. Let's get them all of the frankfurters that they want to have throughout the course of their life until they hit the wall, and then next. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, that would take too much cooperation. It would take too much self-esteem. It would take too much,
Self-control.
it would take too much control, too much,
Yeah.
integrity, and too much of what would be considered to be, a old-fashioned view on relationships and, who it is that's worthy of being dealt with in one. Nowadays it's like, okay, well, she's been passed around a few times, but I mean, they doing thought-a-thons and slut walks. So, you're like, well, she's been tossed around, but, not too much. 25 guys is not too bad. So.
Who believes that's 25 guys? Y'all really believe that she on
Come
that?
on, man. I'm just taking it at face value, bro.
All right.
I'm just saying. I don't know how many guys, BGS.
I know Marcus fell over when she said that. Couldn't stop laughing.
Man, shit. Yeah. I would be surprised if it ain't more.
If she added 100 to it, I might believe her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the only thing I'm saying is, the traditional view is that a woman is spoiled, if she's not a virgin to begin with. Like, men used to want to be married to virgins. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like men are shaming other men into marrying baby mamas. Like, they're queens too. Mm-hmm. They need love too. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, deal with a woman who already has demonstrated. One of y'all got to turn your YouTube.
Jay.
Oh, my bad.
Get feedback.
Yeah, turn YouTube off. But, because now you're on StreamYard, you're able to chat with us live and direct. So if you join in, make sure, please, to turn off your YouTube, man, and just tune in via StreamYard. But, I'm like, man, when did it become cool? Now it's perceived as possessiveness or, like controlling behavior to want a woman who's not been banged around, like a pinball machine. You know what I'm saying? Pop, pop, pop.
Blame Uncle Luke and Naughty by Nature, man. Bringing in, making whole culture regular culture.
They did that. We have to admit.
No, there's a difference because if you listen, like I said a second ago, well, women are making the rules and changing the rules, and that's why we are where we are now. But understand this: you always gonna have hoes, but just leave them in the whole category. I'm not mad at dudes for fucking with hoes, but don't turn them into wives. Don't turn them into baby mamas, and leave them. You understand?
There used to be a separation. I mean, there's always been hoes. Okay, go always back to the Bible. Hoes been hoes, right? It's forever. Okay,
Man, y'all talking dirty on. Look, y'all talking dirty on.
All right.
No, I'm good. I'm real good with it though.
Yes.
Okay. What I'm saying is that we allowed. Jay, you got feedback. Okay.
JT, man, please.
We got. Now, what we allowed, basically when I go back to what I first noticed, it was with Uncle Luke and Naughty by Nature. You started to see the crossover into regular culture, whole culture. Whole culture used to be completely separate. Okay, if you're a stripper, if you were a porn star, if you're a regular hoe, okay, you're over there. Okay, if you want to get into regular society, you had to clean all that stuff up and hope and move someplace and change your name. You just couldn't cross over into regular culture like that. But now, with Uncle Luke and plus other people allow whole culture to come into regular culture. Now you got whole culture bell on the Grammy Awards now. Okay, so it's just regular.
That's what's killing me. Like, I saw this change because you gotta look. I was born in 71, man. So I'm 50,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
I saw firsthand how everything shifted. Like when I grew up, man, the music was Aretha Franklin, The Temptations, Lou Rawls, You're Gonna Miss My Lovin' and all this kind of stuff. I mean, not to say that there weren't breakups and makeups, in the past. I'm sure there were, okay? And not that there wasn't, promiscuousness and, premarital fornication taking place. I'm sure it was. But I mean, for crying out loud, now, like, the ambition is to get with the video vixen or the woman who made a sex tape. Like, I mean, that's the option now. Like, that's the thing to do. Like, I ain't trying to, be ignorant, but like Kim Kardashian had a sex tape with Ray J.
Yeah.
And now everybody wants to wife her up.
Yeah.
What part of the game is that?
Ain't no shame.
Sorry for the theatrics.
I'm sure really, there is no more shame. Okay, there is no more shame. In fact, sometimes I think the porn stars have more morals and shame than the regular people do now. I really do.
And to me, okay, so all I'm saying is that's one thing for street culture, but I saw it change. And then, you still had love music and, you still had this courtship disposition in the 80s. But then in the 90s, man, I saw it change, man. I saw it firsthand. It started with like the Too Shorts and not to say that the rap music forced this, but it started off with these guys like telling you, fuck these hoes. Fuck them and leave them, okay? And then Luke Skywalker was all about the nasty business, shake what your mama gave you and all this. They tried to put that guy, on a censorship ban to where he couldn't ever record music again. They tried to hit him with obscenity laws, okay? He went to court, fought that, and he made it possible so that, the artists can, make the kind of music that they make today, unobstructed.
Right.
But here's the deal. You started to see, and part of this is Atlanta culture, part of it is Miami culture, part of it is New York culture.
Remember back in the day, the Butt Naked Club is in Houston?
Yeah.
90s?
Yes, sir. Oh,
but we saw it that way because East St. Louis, which is only like, to me, there are parts, like East St. Louis is closer to my house than North County St. Louis is. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I could get on Highway 70 and take 40 or take the MLK Bridge over to East Side in 7 minutes And it's all night to the break of dawn. Put your hands on it, touch it type shit at the strip club. And it's been that way for decades, okay? But you started to see this change, man, to where I can't say the precise moment, but I know when I started to hear T-Pain say he was in love with a stripper. I said, man, what
that was the over the top moment, GG. That was the over the top moment when he said he's in love with a stripper. Well, and don't forget about all the Freakniks in Galveston too, BGS. We had our fair share down here in the Lone Star State too. And I'm here to tell all you boys, look, Brad Scarface Jordan said something in the 90s that was so relevant back then, but people couldn't get it. And I use it as a motto. Man, look, any broad that got more miles on her than an F-350 dually, I just can't fuck with. I don't care how good she look, from young to cougarism. If she got more miles than an F-350 dually, gentlemen, you can't fuck her. Now, look, I sat back and pondered on this last night, BGS, and I wanted to get your theory on it. You too, GG, while we're here. I figure for every dude a broad smashes, that's 100,000 miles. And this broad says she done smashed at least 25 dudes. Man, she over 250,000 miles on that goddamn engine, man. That bitch need an overhaul, in-frame, like we say with the trucking world. She need an in-frame.
See, what's the rule of thumb? If she gives you a number, multiply by 3.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marcus. I'm sorry.
No, I got you. This is the thing, right? I understand whole culture, but I mean, Snoop Dogg said we don't love them hoes, right? And that was not long after Luke was doing this whole thing. The thing is, all of that stuff, it didn't allude to wifing up and marrying the hoes. We had a shift in that, like G said, like, you know, the I'm in love with a stripper, which came much later, right? You know, when you started to see the shift into the whole thing where, you know, sex work is work and all this, again, you know, that came with the slut walks and everything like that, when the women changed the rules of engagement for how we are to deal with hoes and hoeing, even to the point where, you know, the whole OnlyFans thing is like, you know, how y'all gonna get mad at OnlyFans? So it's like all of these things that women are doing. I just was on the breakdown with Danny and the rest of them having the same conversation. You're doing everything in opposition to what we want, but you still want to be wanted. At the end of the day, what we went for was accepting this into, you know, marriages and relationships and things like that. And that is, we got to own that. Like them being hoes and music and stuff like that, it could be entertainment value. But beyond that, as far as
Marcus,
building,
you said something, Marcus. Marcus, you said something, and I was here thinking about it. It'd be just, I gotta know, everybody, where the hell did the transition take place? Where regular dudes thought it was okay to start wiping up strippers and hoes? Like, I'm gonna wipe this chick.
I'm telling you when it happened, because that started when we start telling young kids, young boys, you know, like Uncle Luke, was it 1990? So you're talking about 30 years old, you know, 30. So you're talking about 10 years old to 15 years old, listening to the stuff, then okay, it's okay to be with a hoe. Hoes are normal. And then it just went downhill from there. So basically that's why I said it got introduced into Hold'em got introduced to regular code. Before that, you know, you actually, you know, if you can bang a hoe, but if you actually dated a hoe, you're actually shamed for it. You were no longer shamed for dating a chick.
I remember those days, BGS.
No, but my question is, when did hip hop endorse wifing the hoes? They endorsed.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I'm telling you, bruh. I'm telling you when it happened. The 2000s is when it began to happen, bro. I'm telling you. No, look, Luke Skywalker wasn't like, I'm marrying these freaks. No, marrying a freak. You never heard him say that.
He didn't do that.
No,
you never heard Snoop and them say, I'm wifing up this chick that's screwing the crew. Even in like the 90s, the early 90s, late 80s, Belle Biv DeVoe. You know,
Yeah, that
You think she's something, but she's really a loser. Cause me and the crew used to do her. That girl is poison. Then it came
every other city we go.
We see the same hole. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Slippery slope, though.
This is my thing, though, right? This is my thing. It's like carnival culture. That's what whole culture is to me. Not trying to be ignorant about it, but like there's a whole universe of carnival culture. You got the strong man, the bearded lady. You have, the flying trapeze artist, the contortionist. That's their world. And they know that they're entertaining you. And it's only for a short period of time. Okay? You go there, you observe it, and then you go back to regular life. Okay? This has begun to seep into every part, every nook and cranny of our culture, such that it's creating an attitude in both men and women. It's making it acceptable for men to deal with women of ill repute. Because to me, it's ill repute. First of all, if you're a woman and you have some dignity and some respect for yourself, you wouldn't leak a sex tape of yourself. Period. You would not be showing your ass, your breasts to everybody in the world for attention or for money. That's just the facts for me. Okay? You wouldn't want your mother doing that.
Yeah, but
you wouldn't want your daughter. There are situations you might have a burlesque dancer. Everybody's not for that life. Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody ain't for that get butt naked life. The libertine, the Epicurean, anything sexually goes life. And even women are not for that life. Because as soon as you cheat on one of them, their whole world is coming. I'm going down. I'm going to bust the windows out of your car. I'm showing up with the gun. I got heartache and pain. It ain't even for them like that. So why in the hell would you think that a man, like men are more territorial than women? Okay? Period.
Yes.
Men don't want other people having entry to their house and hearth and home. And they're trying to make a woman a center of hearth and home. And these women are like, fuck it. There are no more standards anymore. Anything goes. I'm fucking who I want to fuck, when I want to fuck them, how I want to fuck them. If you tell me that it's not virtuous, then what you are is controlling, and you're trying to, police my body and all of this. But I say it's a double standard only because let you step outside and go do some shit on one of them, and then they're going to try to throw the riot act at you. They're going to try to get you back. They'll burn your car. They'll try to kill you with the car.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that let me ask you this, Gigi. What happens if you start out and you start putting video vixens and video hoes onto basically mainstream media, where little 10-year-old boys and 15-year-old boys can imprint on hoes? What do you think they're gonna marry when they get to be 25, 30 years old? What do you think they're gonna marry if their imprint is a hoe?
Man, I'm telling you, this is what I have to say.
Okay.
We need to go back to the days where I want to hold your hand. I want to court you type shit. But right now we live in hookup culture. Everybody's hooking, huh? I'm just saying, look,
bro, you can cancel Christmas on there.
The Epicureans are taking over, man. The Stoics are on the run.
This is not. But look. Everybody thinks that Western culture has everything figured out based upon these ideals, which are philosophical. Okay, freedom. Negative liberty. I have rights. I have dignity, innate dignity as a human being. Okay, yeah, you do. But we have if there's a viciousness in you related to alcohol, we call you an alcoholic. Okay? Now they're trying to make it to where, there's certain things that are on the table where you can be critical of them, but then there are things that are off the table. Like if you stuff your face full of pizza pie and like you eat a half a pound of spuds a day and you know, like you're one of those force feeders and you become like corpulent, you're fat. We're saying that's okay, honey, for you to do that. Okay, that's not viciousness. That's acceptable, Epicureanism, like gorging yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. But getting drunk, not okay. Getting high, not okay. Being a sex addict or being into, like the professional sexual scene, that's hip now. That's the shit to do. That's virtue now. Like, how can you build a successful, stable culture with people who actually are not psychologically fucked up when you got nothing but people bought into whore culture?
I don't know. And let me ask Marcus a question, because Marcus, we don't actually tell what Marcus does, but Marcus been around this kind of culture for a long time. Marcus, when did you notice a change?
In men or in women?
Well, both. Really. I mean, women. Basically, women. When did women on the, I say, on the diesel side, man, started to cross over and started really coming out front with guys that are mainstream.
Okay. So understand this, right? I've been, taking these, nudes and all types of crazy pictures for a long time.
Right.
And I put out my first magazine in 2009. Okay. When I started doing the magazine, you had a lot of girls who didn't want to pose a certain way, didn't want to, show skin, didn't want to do this, didn't want to do that. And it's just amazing to me how that has shifted, right? Mind you, right? Because, this is before Instagram, it's before all of these social media platforms that we got now, where girls, have no problem doing any of this stuff. And in some cases, the same exact women that were telling me they wouldn't do it when we were printing, right? So understand this, right? The things that we were doing, we were putting out there, men always loved, sexual women. They just didn't, wife them or whatever the case may be. The culture of women has always been whole shit. It's just they can't be out with it. It's just now they can, right? So you had girls who, if they were afraid to do what the Little Kims or whatever did, they still champion that stuff, right? You had girls that didn't, of course, but most of the time, the girls that weren't with it were the girls that wouldn't be able to do it if they wanted to. It was a lot of hate and things like that. So the girls that couldn't be in the magazine or couldn't take certain pictures, they didn't have the look that the girls who were doing it did, right? I think for me, things changed when these girls started to get more bold into pushing these ideas out there, and men, the simp dudes, they're gonna follow anything that the girls are pushing. Period. So if the girls are saying, "Look, this is what we're doing now, and it's cool and this and that," you got the simps that are doing it, and then now they got to push this ideology on the rest of us men who there still exists a good, portion of population of men and even black men that ain't with it. And now you have to shame these guys into being down with it. I don't think that, whether it's the stuff that I've been putting out there or Luke or anybody else musically have been putting out there to encourage men to wife hoes or sluts or whatever the case. It's always been an entertainment thing for us. And like you said, it's always been something that's, over there. It's like on the low, like, yeah, we go to the club or the underground party, whatever the case may be, and you got these girls there. And we made fun of the guy that wifed up the girl in the gangbang. Or we made fun of the guy who wifed up the porn star, made fun of the guy who wifed up the stripper and stuff like that. And to some degree, that still exists. But where we are now is the social pressure from women for men to accept it. And that's the difference. First, they decided it was cool and guys still weren't with it, but now they're shaming men into accepting this. When did
but okay, so this is the thing, right?
Uh-huh.
So women have always had this desire to be, risque. I don't think that that's the case for all women. I think that there's a certain kind of woman who might be allured into that kind of lifestyle. But I think by and large, people don't, first of all, most people are insecure about their bodies anyway. And they don't want their bodies on display, okay, for the world to see. That's why we cover our bodies up with clothes. Unless, nowadays in this culture, if you got like an extreme body part, like you got a humongous rear or you got a nice rack, you're a voluptuous woman, you show it off now and then you become the thirst trap or whatever the case may be. Now, I know back when I was young, man, I'd be livid if my girlfriend, my so-called sweetheart, was showing everybody what the goodies look like. That's saying that to me, what that sends off is a signal to a man, I'm available for everyone. Anybody can come hit it. That's what it means to me. Okay? Anybody can have access to this. I am a dog in heat. Anybody can have access to this. Now, as a man who has, it'd be different if I didn't have, if she was just the over there, the whole over there. Okay? It would be different. I'd be like, hey, that's not for me to dictate. But if I'm in a so-called quote unquote monogamous relationship with this woman, I don't want her exposing her flesh to the world. I'm sorry. You can call me controlling if you want to. I don't even want to go back and look at the shit. Now, but there are different circumstances in which this kind of behavior can be more or less tasteful. Like, say, for example,
Gigi, you're just old-fashioned like me.
Well, call me that. But okay, let's say you entered beauty pageants or some shit. Okay, you're not bending over, got your legs open, trying to get somebody hard or something like that. That's not the objective. The objective is display, but it's tasteful display. You go to the strip club, you see the girls in the no offense, Marcus, you see the girl in the girly mags, whether they digital or like they used to only be in print, okay? Because I remember the internet, and if you was wanting to go look at some porn, you had to go to the porn shop with the magazines with the bag over them that had the stuff covered up. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how you got access to the porn, or you went to the video store and they had the adult section, and that's where you could get your porn stuff. Now it's ubiquitous.
Well, understand, at some point, some girl got to go into a photo shoot to take those pictures, to be in those magazines that you're buying. Mind you, I'm bigger than the whole magazine thing. I've been around the sex industry for more than 20 years, like since the 90s. I'm talking about strip clubs. I'm talking about porn and porn sets. I'm talking about it all. I'm talking about pimps, hoes, all of that shit. And I have an extreme understanding for how all of that shit works. Understand this, bro. Like at the end of the day, guys who have been in and around that business might see things a different way. I am not mad at anybody who is not in that business or in that industry, has been around that industry or been associated with that circle, who feels the way you do. Like, I agree with everything you're saying. Just like I said to these people that, were putting, that they were promoting or defending OnlyFans, I don't have a problem with OnlyFans, but understand that there are men who do not desire to see their women, their wives, their daughters, or whatever on OnlyFans. And I can appreciate that point of view. I do. Just like you say, you don't want your woman's, shit on display. I appreciate that point of view, even if my point of view might be different. Like, because I've been in the shit that I've been in, I might care less. Like, I might be able to walk down the street with a girl that's wearing some crazy shit, niggas is looking, and I'm like, I don't care. Look, motherfucker, just don't touch, don't talk. But again, every man is entitled to their position on it. But what's happening is guys with your position, they're trying to shame out of it. Like something is like somehow fundamentally wrong with you for having that position. And understand, like, just like you got your preferences, women have their preferences, everybody's allowed their deal breakers, preferences, and things like that. And again, like, as we get into more of this feminism, is making it to where everything that these girls find acceptable, they're trying to make us find acceptable. And the first people they get is the simp. So when you're talking about T.I., I'm in love with a stripper, that song represents the simp ideology to me, as far as I'm concerned.
But here's the deal. This is why I put this graphic up here. Mm-hmm. T-Pain has been married for 17 years. See, look, this guy basically is an artist who had a marketing campaign. Mm-hmm. He's not like living the life that he's talking about. He's like Spice One, the studio gangster. Okay, I'm just being honest about this. And everybody knows that like Atlanta came into its own with the advent of Babyface and L.A. Reid. They created this like entertainment, this black mecca, sort of like Detroit was in, the 50s or whatever with Motown, okay? All of a sudden, they marry and blend the strip club culture with hip hop culture, okay? And they make, like the center, the hub of their aesthetic, the twerk club, the shakers clubs, okay? Now, all I'm saying is, it's cool for a guy who knows, okay, this is what she's doing here. This is the lifestyle she's in. This is not what I'm looking for in terms of a wife. Now, look, I don't know. Look, I'm telling you what I know. Not all the girls in the strip club go out and sell it, but some of them do, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's some screwing. Okay, so if you're going to tell me that I'm supposed to now look for a wife in a place where it's pay for play,
yeah,
that's what I'm supposed to be looking for.
Understand?
You got me fucked up. You
Absolutely.
got me. You have me fucked up to the highest level of fucked uptivity.
But dig, G, the strip clubs never pushed, and I agree with everything you said, but the clubs didn't push that. Hip hop didn't push that. Hip hop was, we don't love them hoes, and all of these other things. Like if you go into and you listen to hip hop acknowledged the strippers, but they didn't say wife the strippers, right?
No, the shift happened. I'm gonna tell you, it happened with T-Pain. It happened with the Kanye shit.
T-Pain is not a rapper though. Like R&B is.
He's a rapper turned singer.
Why is he not a rapper? He is a rapper.
He's putting out R&B music. R&B has always been simp culture. Think about it. Babyface and all them other dudes you mentioned. I'll pay your rent. I'll buy your clothes.
Wow, man.
Wow. R&B culture has always been about simping. Rap has always tried to be the antithesis of R&B. They tried, right? But there has been no overwhelming amount of rappers that put in their music that you gotta love the strippers or love hoes.
But I'll tell you again. This is another point of change. And I keep mentioning this, and I don't know how many people are tied into or believe this. But it was all about, do you remember Ice Cube, I Ain't the One?
Oh, absolutely.
He was like, you thinking Red Lobster, I'm thinking Burger King. Okay? I'm not the one to get played by like a poo butt. You see, I'm from the streets. So I know what's up with these silly gangs that's played by the women. I'm only happy when I'm going up in them. And those were records we heard as kids. Like, okay, it kept the separation between simp culture and like finding a good woman that you can actually build with. Okay? Because Ice Cube is married, been married for like over damn near 3 decades. Okay?
20 plus years. Yeah.
And so it's like, it's not this way about all women, but it's like now in this culture, it's okay for that girl who you would normally say, I'm not the one for that. It changed. Bad Boy Records changed that shit, man.
What song? I want someone to point out what group of records endorsed the opposite.
Not Biggie Smalls, but it did start to, even Biggie. See, Biggie didn't even want to talk like that. See, Biggie first came up with the, party and bullshit. It was, I'm ready to die, Street Tales, the 10 Crack Commandments and all of this. It was like that. But Puffy required R&B remixes to the songs. And then it became, I'm gonna buy you shit. At first it was like, I'm not like about to trick for you. I'm not about to just give you money and demonstrate that, you deserve everything, especially young black men listening to rap. It was like, man, I ain't buying you.
I'm saying, G. Anytime you infuse
GG, the next thing you know,
R&B.
The next thing you know,
hold on there.
Let Marcus finish his thought.
Yeah, understand
go ahead,
right?
Marcus.
Ain't too many straight up hip hop rap records that's pushing that. Now I see people in the comments saying T.I. is part of the hip hop community. That doesn't matter. Just
you
like
can have whatever you like.
Well, yeah.
Or we can cruise the world for girls, gator boots for girls. The envy of all women, crushed linen, Cartier wristwear with diamonds in them.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's talking to hoes. See, understand what you're saying. You're talking about trick culture, but you're not saying that this is connected to wifing up women who are out there hoeing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'll give you that. Okay, so it is okay. To me, you remember that one group who I don't know who came up with the record. It's a thin line. It's a thin line between tricking. It's a thin line between tricking and falling in love with a stripper.
It is, but nobody's saying it direct. What I'm saying is, I would have to go and. Homie in the comment section, display name, he said, T.I. said he made that song as a joke because if you listen to Whatever You Like, the first thing he said is the trick dudes be like, right? That was the intro, right? So,
that song, these, in the early or the mid 2000s, them women was bumping that shit. Bro, I'm talking about, man, they was like in they little Altimas and shit.
Because it was R&B vibe. Understand, R&B has always been female catered.
Yeah, that's what money is.
In the concepts and the subject matter in R&B has always been about simping and other things. Hip hop is not that. Hip hop is the opposite.
It's counterculture, yeah. But the thing is, they started mixing hip hop and rap into R&B and vice versa. That's what happened. They started they started crossing over into each other.
Understood.
And also a visual. I'm sorry to interrupt you here, Marcus, but another thing that I want to point out that Ice Cube is responsible for, the Players Club.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So this is a movie in which you have a young lady who's going to college. Like, this is what the rappers start rapping about, right? Now, it's a good story, okay? I'm not saying it's not a good story. It's an entertaining film, right? Now, you got the straight up girls who are into the life, okay? And it's all represented there. They're into this life. This is what they have. They don't have anything more than that. At least there's a moral in the story, okay? At least there is. So this one, and I'm talking about the yellow girl, the real thick yellow one who's scandalous, got the brother that like to rape chicks, shit like that. I forget what they call her in the movie. Trixie or what? Okay, so big thick chick, man. Fine yellow bone. But then you got Lisa Ray. You know what I'm saying? Who, for all intents and purposes, man, is really actually just trying to make ends meet. That's not really her world.
And she's not hoeing either, because she's not selling ass. Understand, because I'm seeing in the comments, it's a save a hoe story. Well, who saved the hoe? Who was the hoe and who got saved? Didn't nobody get saved in Players Club?
Yeah.
Well, one girl did get saved in Players Club.
Remember when Demi Moore? Remember when Demi Moore and all them white girls were doing all these strip movies and stuff like that?
Yeah, they had
in the early 90s.
Yep.
That's another reason why it started to crossover. So this stuff started crossover like in the early 90s. It started, what I'm saying, if you start doing what? If you start, like I said, imprinting boys at an early age that strippers and hoes and that kind of stuff are okay, they're gonna start wifing these chicks up, 20 years later. 15, 20 years later. Go ahead.
FBA's Most Wanted. Jamie Foxx did not save Lisa Ray in the Players Club. That's not what happened. She was the one packing. That is not what happened. I blame, if anything, feminism, not hip hop, for what we're dealing with now.
True.
Oh, I understand. Look, you know what I think about feminism. You know how much I've studied it, and but all I'm saying is, I'm not blaming you, Marcus.
No, not
you're
me.
not responsible, man, with your magazine, man. And I know you're going to defend.
No, he's not, because one thing I can say about the about that side of the ledger, man, they have a clear line between, just like pimps and hoes, man. There's a clear line between the square world and their world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's other people that actually melded it in, because I'm sure even today, Marcus, I'm sure even right now as we speak, there's with people in the business, there's a very sharp line, defining line between the square world and that side of the aisle.
But they're trying to blur. You know how I realized the game was over?
What's that?
With the blurring of the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Get your booty to the pole.
Yeah, right.
I said to myself, I said, look, this shit right here, like there's a reason. I can't. We know a lot of these girls, man, come from broken homes. They have shitty family lives. They have abusive parents, mothers and fathers, or absent fathers and shit like that. And they don't have direction. The last thing you want is for your daughter to have to go out and shake her ass in front of numerous men and be degraded by men touching them and objectifying them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And throwing dollar bills at them and shit and asking them, can I give you $50 and you suck me off? Like, I don't want, like, who wants their child or who wants to have a lifetime partner who had to undergo that shit because it creates psychic trauma, bruh.
I just want to point out that hoes do degrade men too, and that's the actual point of this whole discussion is I think there's this idea that only the hoes are degraded. I've seen hoes, again, I'm in the space, and I've seen hoes reserve power over the men in those spaces also. It's not just one way. It's, power is given. Power goes both ways, and sometimes it's the money that's power, and sometimes it's the pussy that's power. And there's a lot of weak motherfuckers that come into these adult spaces and get degraded by these women. So don't get it twisted, because a lot of these men are oftentimes offer themselves up for the chopping block. And that's why we talk about PJ and Brittany today.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
But the only thing I don't like,
I can't hear him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say, Marcus, the reason why most of those men are like that is because Gigi said something about this a few weeks back, and it still stays on my brain. Most men refuse to take pussy off the bargaining table. So as long as they don't take that pussy off the bargaining table, now and that hoe knows it off the rip, what you think she gonna do, Marcus, to keep that leverage up for her? Because she knows she really ain't got no leverage other than that JJ.
Understood, but hey, look, if you subject yourself to be a victim of or under the mercy of a given thing, that's a choice you're making. So if a man says, I'm going to let this woman have power over me because she got the pussy and I want the pussy, meanwhile there's millions of other pussies in America and around the world, and you're sitting here trying to get this one pussy and letting it rule over you, that's a choice. There's an abundance of pussy. Right. It's actually, when we talk about supply and demand economics, there are less dicks than pussies. So actually, we should be in an advantage position, but motherfuckers have scarcity mindset, and they think, I have to have her. So I'm going to let her control and rule.
Somebody better.
You understand what I'm saying?
Somebody better send these shallow hair dudes a memo that pussy done plummeted on the NASDAQ to an all-time low, and it's dropping every goddamn day.
And motherfuckers is still going out of their way, backwards and forwards, flipping over through flaming hoops to get it. And again, I would say that a lot of where we are now has a lot to do with simp culture and feminism combined together, because us guys speaking on this panel right now ain't with it. The thing is, we are the minority. Simps are the majority. If you haven't noticed, simp culture is the pervasive culture amongst black men, especially in America.
Period. But here's the deal though. Simp culture would work if there was an ethics, a prevailing ethics of monogamy and fidelity. Okay? But this was the norm in the past. Okay, I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to be ignorant by saying this.
Monogamy and fidelity doesn't mean you're a simp, though. You could want to be monogamous and you could want a wife and you could want kids. Just because you want a relationship and you want to be traditional, that in itself doesn't make you a simp. What makes you a simp is what you subject yourself to and what you allow, right? And what lines and boundaries you allow to be crossed.
Well, that's just with anything in life, though. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yes,
I don't even think it has anything to do with sex. To be perfectly honest,
I agree.
I think it has to do with mommy issues, or it has to do with abandonment issues. Like, a lot of these guys just can't live without women. Like, I mean, so even if the woman, like, love is a motherfucker, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're in it, sometimes, it can open your nose. That's why they say everybody plays the fool sometimes. There's no exception to this rule. Yeah. Everybody does at some point or the other. But the question is, like that Bill Withers shit, you can keep on using me until you use me up shit? No.
Hey, G, you got guys, and when you say it's not just about sex, you're 100% correct. You got guys on the internet that are sending money to women that they'll never meet, never fuck. You got guys on the internet defending the stupid ideologies of women that they'll never meet and they'll never fuck. They do this because they want female attention, female validation, and female acceptance and adoration, even from long distance, right? It's like they don't even have to touch you. They don't have to put their dick in you. None of that shit. At the end of the day, as long as they're accepted and agreed with by women and validated by women, it's cool. It's not. Sometimes it ain't even about the pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like, we living in a world of virtual validation, bro. And it's, to me, I've seen where it's come from. Like, look, we could talk about the sources or the causes. All I'm saying is, there are a whole bunch of confluence or intersections, which is a dirty word around these parts to even say it. But I mean, like, the merging together of different sources has created the phenomena that we have now. And most men, I'm just being honest, even in this space, they're looking for traditional women who have traditional values, who have respect for themselves, and who will show respect for the men that they're in relationships with. That's what they're saying there's a dearth of women in today's culture like that. And all too often, they share and hold the sentiments of this one Renner woman. This woman who thinks, okay, men are just exchangeable dicks. Anyone's just as good as another. Me having a kid and then like just leaving the daddy, no big deal, because what importance is a man to a family anyway? I am the nucleus of the family.
Listen, women are making the rules now. If you let the kids in your house make the rules, they play video games all the time, eat candy all day and shit like that. And that will be the norm. It would be wrong to believe that was a problem, right? If they made the rules, just imagine if children made the rules, what would be the laws and what would be allowed. If you let women make the rules, then not only are you going to see what you're seeing, but also what's even more interesting is when women make the rules, what they allow shows you and everyone listening who they really are, right? Who they really are, what they really always wanted to. It's just like how people say alcohol releases your inhibitions, and then you become who you really are. All the things that you would say that you wouldn't say if you weren't drunk, or whatever the case may be. Once you remove the restrictions, once you remove the leash, that's when you see the real behavior. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the real behavior once if you let them make the rules, right? Because
Check it out. Check out. Check some more out. Check out.
What are the athletes? None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, you could just fuck an athlete. They're really dumb. I don't.
Word.
That shit is uncut female nature. Uncut, raw, to the gut female nature she's spitting right there. It's shit that she's telling us that regular women, quote unquote, would not say out loud, but they're thinking, right? Not all, but a good amount, right? That is as raw and uncut diamond female nature as you're gonna get, bro. There it is, right the fuck there. And anyone who doesn't want to accept that is in denial, and good luck.
But I mean, but let me say this, right? So I think about women in the past, like Ella Baker. I think about women in the past, like Fannie Lou Hamer. You know what I'm saying? I think of women in the past, like Coretta Scott King. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about women who weren't, immersed in whore culture. And not to say that there's a place for it, but they're like oil and water. It's like square versus the scene, the hip scene. You know what I'm saying? They're two different worlds.
Women like
and
that
now people are trying to mix these worlds and act as if there's no pathology that is going to be a consequence or as a result from it. That's my issue. Everybody knows what vice is. Like the sex business, it's a vice business. It goes with drugs and alcohol and pimps and players and wheelers and dealers. That's the world, bruh. That's part of that world. It's the world of sensuousness and vice. Okay? But then there's the square world. Square business. Now, I'm not saying that, somebody square can't every now and then dabble in vice. I don't see anything wrong with it. But 100% vice, 24/7 vice, is too much. It's like being in a candy store and you never go and get you some veggies and some steak. You just eating McDonald's all day.
You just use that Kitty's rule comparison, man. I mean, I hate to say it, man, but in many ways, women, especially when they're emotionally driven or survival driven, I mean, this is what you're gonna see, right? So You know, women are basically in a space where they're forever trying to get shit without doing the most work for it. Right? That's just what it is.
Sir.
You know, they're trying to get free shit. They're trying to get to the top of the food chain without working for it. And if they ain't got, if at this point, you know, with patriarchy being something that they're trying to tear down, if they don't have to do the traditional, you know, things, or to go the traditional route, if they can cheat their way through the game, they will. And to be honest, that's just pure logic. Like, you can't even in one way, you can't even be mad at it. You just can't make yourself a victim to it. You can't become prey to it, but you have to acknowledge it, know that it exists, and know the signs and what to look out for, and do whatever you can to shield yourself from this type of shit, man. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what it is. But that's raw female nature. Our nature is to fuck them. You know,
well, you know,
and that's
our
what
nature. Well, our nature. Look, see, this is what I want people to understand, right? I don't have a problem with whore culture all the way through and through. Okay, I really don't. Okay, but what I do have an issue with is non-stop whore culture that seeks and seeps into every area and parameter of African American or American in general life. I have an issue with that shit, man. It's like, okay, that's for some people. It's not for everyone. This shit ain't for everybody. But now they making it such that it's becoming the norm. And look, I don't have a problem. Like, see, this is the issue, right? You fucking around with institutions that have existed for millennia. That's what America has done. And, you know, Western culture has done over the course of the past, a very brief period of time, in fact, over the past, 60, 70 years. Okay? Because you always had separations and divisions. Like, the gangsters are gangsters. They not squares, okay? Like, mafia shit is mafia shit. Yeah, they come into the business world and they make business moves, but they operate under a different moral code, okay? When you start talking about family life and reproduction and you start eroding these institutions, and then you don't really and then you use the vernacular of rights theory and rights thinking in order to substantiate or justify it, you ignore what the consequences could potentially be, or the negative externalities of it. We don't know what the effects of this shit is going to be in the next 100 years. We don't know. This is a brand new social experiment. We don't know what the consequences are going to be, but we got some insight into what it can be. But the question is, how long will men tolerate this shit to the point where they allow themselves to be exploited? And see, here's the issue I take with this shit, right? It's one thing if a man gets played by a woman and then he learns his lesson and then he's able to move on and dust himself off and try again, like Aaliyah, okay? Now, you in situations with these chicks, man, where everything can come to a close. Your financial solvency, your mental, emotional, psychological stability can all be brought down to the point where you're working for someone else, where your own children are used as bargaining chips against you. This shit is not healthy in the long run. I'm telling you. And yeah, men are accepting it now because they've been enculturated to accept it. But as time persists and men begin to speak and men begin to develop awareness, it's not going to even be good for women in the long run. Because there's a bottom to this shit. It's like a bubble. Everybody can't be a hoe, bruh.
No, I'm not. I know you don't think I'm.
Everybody, and then all women can't use excuses of whoredom in order to substantiate poor or vicious behavior. At some point, there's going to have to be a bottom to this, is all I'm saying. Now, when that bottom will be, I don't know. I don't see it changing anytime soon. That's just my observation, because it takes a long time for things to turn around. It took a long time for us to get here, okay, to where we are now. Well, it really didn't take that long, 60, 70 years or so. All you had to do was have a fucking hippie movement, sexual revolution movement, a civil rights movement, and a fucking, what else was connected or tethered to that? All these movements, this confluence of movements all happened at the same time. And we don't know and the left is leaning on this shit. And that's why you see this backlash from the right. And you see a lot of brothers moving in conservatism or into conservatism. Now, at first I didn't really understand it, but it's about social issues more so than it is about economic policy and fiscal, policy. Because that's just my understanding of it, because most guys aren't rich. They don't have a lot of stuff to save in tax shelters anyway. Okay? But the traditional values associated with it is what they have an affinity for. Now, the question is, how long can a woman say to herself, a man juicing a man by having a baby is a come up? It used to be a liability because there was no safety net. There wouldn't be a judge saying, oh, well, you're going to get so many years of support. It was like, shit, you and your family going to take care of this baby. Now you have burdened your family. Not just the man. Now you've burdened your family because you're not married and you had a baby out of wedlock. Now it's like the shit to do. And you got support from the court system, and you got a whole bunch of, bleeding heart liberals and shit who are going to throw cash away. All you got to do is say, I'm a mother, I need support. And you start a fucking a GoFundMe and shit, and you can get 50, 60 G's. All you got to do is say, I'm living in my car. My daddy's a billionaire. He won't give me any money. Motherfuckers will throw some bread to you.
Listen, man, if they are...
And look, Freddie Wayne says it sounds like Gigi longs for... Like, I'm 50 years old, man. I got 2 kids. I wish it would have turned out to where I had a monogamous relationship. But fuck it. At this point, I don't even care. Like... I've turned down pussy. Like, I don't like, because I know what it comes with now. And I know the mentality of some of these women now. You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime you got motherfuckers calling you and they married, and I'm not to say that this shit didn't happen in the 60s and the 50s. I'm sure it did. But like the callousness now, the openness. Are you serious? Like, this shit is crazy. And it'd be different if you ain't have kids with some of these chicks. Like, men are having children with women who think like this, or who are getting pats on the back for thinking like this. And that's the issue. Now, if you childless, I would encourage you strongly, stay that way. Don't have sex with one of them. For crying out loud, not a woman like her. Because already her mentality is, I'm running game. I'm fucking hustling niggas. This is not, I'm trying to build relationships with niggas. I'm trying to, create families with niggas. This is like, I'm trying to pimp the game. I am a pimp.
Hey, G, let me ask you a question, though. Because I think everybody listening understands the incentives for women to do these things, right? There's incentives attached, real incentives. There's no stigma attached to the shit no more, so you're not gonna be shamed or ostracized or any of that shit, right? So other than what people think is the right thing to do, because we know that people don't do what they think the right thing to do is all the time, right? So this girl that we're speaking about, right? What is her incentive to go the other way, other than, oh, this is the right thing to do. I should do it this way.
Because exactly. But that's the point.
There's no incentive.
That's the point.
So of course you're gonna see. Now I understand. You're gonna see her and others go about it this way because this way works. Just like everybody went to get a PPP loan because they knew that they'd get some money. Regardless of what they had to say or do to get it, they went about getting it, right? So if you remove stigmas and you remove penalties and ostracize, being excommunicated from, social circle or community, if you remove all of that, if you remove all of those things, right, then and then on top of that, give rewards to the behavior, you're gonna see more behavior.
And that's exactly what like Walt Williams said a long time ago. It's like we're in the court, the policies, the family courts, and the overall pervasive culture is giving sanction to this shit. And then you got men stepping up saying, and men are stepping up saying, yes, we have to support these queens. They have it so hard. Like, I can't imagine what a life would be like for me. I mean, I can't even begin to fathom it. Where if I had a kid, I could go get a house, I could go get health care, I could go get any fucking thing I need out of the society in which I live, just predicated upon the fact that I laid down and opened my legs. I can't imagine that shit.
Well, you can't imagine it because it's not our experience. Imagine you can do all of those things just off the fact that you're a woman, bro. So understand this. It's like, it's been said a million times. Women draw from societal benefits way more than men do. Men, if they doing bad or whatever, they are more likely to say, fuck it, let me go and get this money or do what I got to do to get this money, more so than women. If women are in a bad space, women have been socialized to understand that they can just go somewhere and it will be given to them. Shit, I got a whole video coming up, explaining the differences between men and women's relationship with money, because we both have a different relationship with money. So understand, women exist in a reality that's different from ours, just like white people exist in a reality that's different from black men. Women's reality is, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be rewarded, and I'm not going to be penalized. That is their reality.
Yeah, but that's a recent reality.
No, it's not that recent though.
Well, the reason girls having babies out of wedlock and going off to raise them by themselves, that's a relatively, I give it 2 or 3 generations. Okay, for better or for worse. I mean, but a lot of this. See, I'm gonna tell you what a lot of these women do, and it's just so easy for them to do it. They fuck around and have a kid with a guy. Okay? They pick this guy to have a kid with. A lot of times this is how the shit goes. They get into a relationship that lasts for 2 or 3 years, right? They fuck around and have a kid. They get bored with that shit. It's not that the guy's a bad guy. Now, they'll use every excuse. He was controlling. He was abusive. He did X, Y, and Z. But really, these women basically have options that they didn't have before. And look, it's cool. It's cool for you to have options, but now the options are set up and established in such a way that men are the ones who have to take on all the risks of something not going the way the woman wants it to go. And that's just too much. That's too fucking much power for a woman to have.
Understand, G, right? So now that you said that, ask yourself this, right? And this is not necessarily something that I want to answer to now. I just want you to think about it, right? We often compare these women to the women of the previous generations. But we also got to remember the women in the previous generations had less, and they had less options. Imagine if those women we hold so high had the options of the women today, would they be the same women? Think on that.
For sure. Look, I didn't even mean to be on this show this long, But the only thing I wanted to do was to have a conversation about this, man. Like, you know, men get sold this idea about what the future holds for them in relation to family and love. And, you know, like one of the prime directives in any individual's life outside of the context of the society in which you live. Now, we're talking about natural drives versus social drives. I think you would agree with me on this. Like the society in which we live is a construct, and the things that we, you know, seek to attain within it are constructed. They're not like, that's the matrix. Like going to work, working a specified amount of hours in order to be able to receive a specific amount of capital so that you could use and dispose of to either invest or to blow. That's a fucking construct, man. I can even go so far as to talk about John Locke and social contract theory to explain it, but I'm not today. I don't feel like expending the mental energy and going through all of the hoops and the steps and phases in order to explain it. But one of the prime directives of any organism's life is to fucking reproduce and to create viable offspring. And we talking about natural versus social. Okay? Natural versus...
You're correct, but understand this, right? Society itself is man-made. And when I say man-made, I'm really being specific. Society is man-made. Women did not help to build this. They only took part in it for the benefits. Okay?
But here's why I disagree. This is why I'm gonna disagree with you. Men might build this motherfucker with their hands, but women all along have been pointing their fingers, determining where a motherfucker's gonna build it and create. They got their fucking hands in the blueprints, partner.
I agree with what you're saying, but it's not the same. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, they want you to speak. They want you to speak louder, dog.
Okay, because I'm on the move, but I'm gonna say this, right, and let me know if because I might have to change my connection in a minute. But check this out, right? Women, they dictate what the man needs to build to make them more comfortable, but they didn't build it, right? Understand?
Oh, for sure. I get that. I understand that.
So society is man-made, right? Again, women's participation in it was for the benefits. Some of those benefits they have may have even dictated to men that they want into society, right? But it's man-made, right? So what you're having is, you know, their nature conflicting with man-made society rules. We made, like this whole thing, this society, social construct, all of that shit is something that men created. We create the rules. So when we talk about family and all of that shit, like those ideas come from a place where we're saying, okay, we want to make men responsible for their lineage, for their offspring. But in order for that to happen, women have to play their role also. What we're having right now is the problem we're having right now is society is giving women the benefits without the obligation.
Bam. Boom, boom, boom. That's what I said it a long time ago. I'll say it again. I'm going to give you a bomb for that because I ain't giving you a bomb today. Sorry for the theatrics, but I like the theatrics here and there.
Look, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free?
Precisely. And look, men and women have a relationship at the current moment that's in tension because, you know, like, first of all, let me just say this. Women have begun to enter into an economy that has changed dramatically from the way it was when the country was first founded. I mean, you know, like this country was founded during an era called the Industrial Revolution. Okay. You know, at the midpoint or at the tail end of it. Okay. Manufacturing, the processing of precious minerals and fossil fuels and shit like that. We now live not in so much a manufacturing-based economy because that portion of labor has been siphoned off to the second and the third world. Okay, those people are working over there. They're the ones who make our clothes. They're the ones who build our cars, who, build the chips that fit inside of our computers. They're the ones who, are basically working to make the consumer products that we actually buy. Okay, we're not building them here in this country like we used to. Okay, now another thing that must be understood is that women's labor has become obsolete. There's no need for it anymore. Like I said this a long time ago. And Chaos, you gotta turn your mic down right quick because you got some feedback. But clothes, motherfuckers used to have to make that shit. You didn't just get dresses and shit like, from Macy's and, from Saks Fifth and from Nordstrom's. No. You got clothes, motherfucker made them. Didn't your mom have a sewing machine? Like, I guarantee you, half of these chicks can't sew shit. Okay, like food, even the preservation of it, like washing clothes was a laborious fucking task, and it had to be done by hand. Now all you gotta do is take the dirty clothes and dump them in the fucking washing machine. Now, instead of making a meal with flour and butter and shit like that, you can go to the grocery store and grab a fucking meal, open up a pouch, pour in 3/4 of a cup of water in that bitch, throw in some hamburger, and you got a fucking meal. This shit is the labor. It doesn't even exist like it used to, but they still complain about it. It's to the point where they don't even want to even do that shit anymore. Like even like the shit that's become easy. Food, you have to grow the shit. A lot of I remember my family, bruh. We used to have tomatoes in a garden. We had fucking cabbage, watermelon and shit. People don't even do that shit anymore, man. Like it doesn't even exist anymore, bruh. All the labor that it was necessary for women to perform has, for the most part, become obsolete. So what happens when that happens? Everything becomes leveled. Everything is leveled now. There is no more male role, female role, because they can do the jobs that men can do. All they got to do is push a fucking button. All they got to do is work the computer, sit at the table or the desk in front of the computer terminal. That's the work that's being done now. I'm not saying that there isn't any hard work, like nursing is hard work. Okay, well, at least for the nursing assistants and shit, because all I noticed that nurses actually do is come in and stick some shit in a fucking, in a tube or something. Whereas the real nurses, like the nurses assistants, they the ones that wipe the asses and clean the bodies and shit like that. But women's work, man, has become, for the most part, less of a burden. So they don't feel like they have to do shit anymore. Like they've gone into the jobs that men have. Well, nobody's doing traditional work anymore. It's all service-based work. So everything is becoming androgynous more and more, bro. And what's the answer or solution to it? I don't know, but there's going to be consequences for this shit in the long run. I guarantee it. As this culture becomes more and more androgynous and kids have less and less contact with men in a positive and a healthy way, and they become the supplicants of women, man, that's why I like that woman, man, who used to, be like a feminist, a strong one, but she kind of shifted gears. Camille Paglia, She's like, look, you're watching the deterioration of Western civilization happening right before your eyes. Because when you start to see men becoming more and more like wet noodles and accepting any and fucking everything, and they have no real seat for masculinity, there's another culture that does. Somewhere with their eye on you, watching, waiting for a motherfucking moment for you to slip. And when that shit happens, boy, it's gonna be a motherfucking game changer. But I'm talking too much. I'm at the point right now where I'm gonna let Chaos speak for a second. Then I'm about to get the hell up out of here, man. I got some other things to do. I'll hit you up tomorrow. Right. But Marcus, man, thank you for coming through, my brother. I know you're probably out and about. You said you had to leave a little earlier, and I held you longer.
I'm here.
But I did this at your request, man. I thought you wanted to speak about this, and speaking to you all is always thought provoking for me. You come with a different perspective than I do, and you've seen things from a different angle and lens than I've seen them. So, we always have lively debates, and that's been from the inception of our encounter, with one another. So, shout out to you, my brother. Big up.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta give a shout out and a big up to my man Marcus. Chaos Rain, man, you got something you want to say, my brother?
Yes, man. I just now heard her voice, and I look at this picture right here of this woman right here that without the makeup, they're not that attractive. When I look at this, say, she must have a decent body, but when you wipe up all that goop, I don't know, man. But my thing is this. To young black men, you're going to be taken advantage out in the streets. It's evident now. These women are going to get you if you're not careful. And if you're going somewhere, like really going somewhere, you better be around respectful men to give you that game so that way you don't lose that seed, because you're going to be paying 0 to 21 years of whatever, if not careful. And I'm not saying that most men are going to fall too much, hopefully, but from what we're seeing, how she's explaining about how she gets you dudes, because guys not smart and dumb. A lot of young black men and men in general are going to start wising up.
Hey, bro, all I can say is from a naturalistic standpoint, outside of the context of society. See what society does is they dictate the confines of relationships. They create the parameters in which relationships take place. Okay? It just is what it is. Policies, popular culture, laws, institutions, the whole nine. Okay? So they dictate how people connect and disconnect from one another, and they manage, reproduction. I mean, this is just a fact about culture, okay? Now, unfortunately, we live in a culture in which a man is perceived as nothing more than a financial donor to a family. He doesn't have to have any connection, any tethering to his own offspring. And this is unnatural. I mean, and not to say that everything unnatural is bad, but I mean to forget nature all the way through and through and to like dismiss it altogether is foolish. It is. You don't know what is going to be the result of this in the long term. Now, it might seem all well and good. We're talking about rights and freedoms and people being able to do whatever it is they want to do. But you're fucking with something that's worked for millennia. And when you start to do that and you put government and bureaucracy and technocrats and judges and lawyers, and then you throw money into the mix, you got a fucking powder keg ready to explode. And that's all I'm saying, man. I'm not going to say too much more about this shit. I'm dropping the bomb on you. What you're seeing, what you are beginning to see is the erosion of the benefit of men participating in the fucking social contract. and reproduction and having, you know, some sort of access and rights over the direction of your children is major. And when that's taken away from men to such an extreme as it is now, and the pretext for it is abuse or, you know, some sort of improper behavior on behalf of men, never the other way around. I mean, of course, because women couldn't possibly do anything pernicious. But when you start to see this shit begin to have an impact on so many men to where it becomes something intolerable for them, watch the fuck out. I'm telling you. Enjoy it, ladies, while you can. You know, the exploitation game is fun. It might seem like a game now, but guard your fucking grills, because I can guarantee you this. Nature abhors a vacuum. You might try to create some, you know, change in the structure, but I'm going to tell you something. Keep fucking men over. Keep doing it. Just keep on doing it, and you're going to see a backlash the likes of which you've never fucking seen. I'm just being honest. At some point, if it's like having access to freedom but abusing it. It's like being given like the ability to drive a car, but you're driving recklessly and you're drinking and doing everything you're not supposed to be doing in the car. Keep doing that shit. And see if there's not going to be, and see if there won't be a backlash at some point. I'm telling you now. I'm just saying. So having said all that, man, I'm going to get the fuck up out of here, man, and get me some food with modern day conveniences of range tops and microwaving. So I'll holler at you fellas later. Is there anything you'd like to say? Keep it before you leave? Guess not. Chaos, would you like to say something before we leave?
The only thing I'm going to say, I might talk about something different tonight when I go live. I found some new events that I've been saying for the past year about this OnlyFans nonsense, and I think I'm going to look at it a little more deeper tonight. So for those who subscribe to Chaos Rant, you'll find out in the next hour. But thank you, Green Grill.
All right, man. Thank you for coming by. Marcus, again, thank you for coming by. I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. It's been one. Peace.